Welcome, I'm Taiwo. I want us to talk about the role of the counselor in relationships. What role does the counselor play in both premarital and pre-dating relationship? I'll explain what I mean by those two terms later in the video. What does the counselor do? How does he go about it? What should be our attitude to the counselor when we are in relationships? Remember that sometimes when you are in a relationship with somebody, there are things you may not see. You just want a third eye. And that third eye, if he is a professional, better for you. That professional is the counselor. We have career counselors. We have health counselors. We have counselors in almost every field. The kind of counselor we are talking about today is pre-marital counselor or pre-dating counselor. The counselors that we bring into our relationships to help us navigate our relationships and how to deal with emotional issues. When we are choosing a counselor to go to, it's expedient that we choose a trusted, godly and unbiased counselor. I have heard people tell me before that the church spoiled their relationship. Actually, somebody told me in his words, the church ended his relationship, his marriage. They were married. And that was very saddening because I expected, as I spoke to him, that the church will be a safe haven where people can go to seek guidance in their relationships. But let us look for trusted, unbiased. If a counselor is biased, he's not going to do much good to your relationship. A counselor who comes to your relationship or your matter and says, I knew that if you marry from that kind of place, you know those people, if you marry them, that's how they are. You are already making an already bad relationship worse. Do not come with a biased mind when you are counseling people. Be neutral. And the role of the counselor is not to impose his will, his idea, or his belief on the two persons concerned. Your role as a counselor is to help them manage their relationship, to tell them the implications of their choices, not to impose your own choice or decision on them. There are conflicts everywhere. When I say conflict, I don't mean fights, like you are fighting. Everywhere you see human beings, there will be a disagreement, there will be different opinions, and there will be conflicts. When these conflicts arise in our dating or courting relationships and we don't seem to be able to manage them, then we should seek the help of a counselor. When do we need a counselor? We need a counselor when we begin to drift apart. Sometimes we are discussing very sensitive issues. We don't seem to reach an agreement or come to a compromise. We need a professional, godly counselor who knows the mind of God and is willing to declare the mind of God without fear and without partiality. When we begin to argue endlessly, we need a counselor. I have observed that sometimes a lot of these arguments shouldn't even be. The arguments arise because the two of us are saying exactly the same thing in different ways. And we don't seem to be seeing what the other person is saying. So we fight over them. So when we begin to argue, we begin to clash over things. Let's call a counselor to help us. When do we need a counselor? When you need clarification on issues. Sometimes the two of you, even though you are children of God, you fear God, you're born again, you know and have established that the two of you are supposed to get married. You feel like God is leading you to get married. But you just feel there are clarifications you need to make, or you are not too certain or too sure about some things. Talk with a counselor. When there is a third eye to look into your matter, you likely will not go wrong. So those are the few times I think you should need a counselor. Why do we need a counselor? When unhealthy attitudes and behaviors begin to brew in your relationship, before they degenerate into something else, talk with a counselor. When you begin to resent the other person, you are probably talking to him or her, and he or she is probably not listening to you, so you are keeping quiet, but you are resenting him. Please talk to a counselor. A counselor many times helps you to ease off tensions that may arise between the two of you. Many times these resentments come because somebody just says, it's because I've introduced him to my parents. If not, I would have discontinued this relationship. Or it's because of what I've invested in this relationship, I would have discontinued. Don't get to the point where you feel it's because of this, if not, I would have. But in your mind, you're not comfortable in the relationship. Please call in a counselor or go talk to a counselor to help you. There are two types of counseling I would recommend in relationships. One, pre-decision counseling and premarital counseling. Premarital counseling is very common. In fact, I know places where counseling takes place a week to the wedding, 3 days to the wedding. That kind of counseling, there's nothing you can do. The counselor can't do anything. Your invitation cards are out, your guests have started arriving. You are just, should I call that counseling? You're just advising them. There's nothing you can do about that relationship. Even if anything comes up, you're not going to tell them to not marry in 5 days or in 3 days, So that's pre-decision counseling. I believe strongly in pre-decision counseling because it is in this kind of counseling that you discover whether you should go ahead or not, whether you should continue the relationship or not. That's before you even tell anybody you're planning to get married. That's before you print cards. That's before the families begin to see each other. Go and meet a counselor to help you look through issues so that you know whether it is a relationship that will work or is a relationship that is worth going into. That's pre-decision counseling. There is also a premarital counseling. Here you have decided, the two of you have made up your mind, you're going to get married. Families already are aware that a wedding is going to take place. So you go to a counselor who takes you through weeks of counseling, dealing with issues that haven't arisen but may arise in marriage. So go to a premarital counselor. What are some of these issues that a counselor helps you to look through? Communication. I don't know if we can ever overemphasize the importance of communication in relationships. In fact, when communication breaks down, the relationship is over. Because if the two of you can no longer talk about issues, then there's nothing else you can do. So a counselor helps you to either restore your communication or helps you to understand the communication style. You may be thinking this person doesn't want to understand me, this person doesn't really love me, this person is very stubborn, but the counselor comes in and hears the two of you, and as a neutral person, he knows where you're both coming from, so he helps you to understand, this is how he is communicating his point, this is how she's communicating his point. That's why if a counselor is very important. Also, a counselor helps you to understand your values. I've seen where a counselor asked a potential couple questions concerning their values. They thought they were on the same page when it comes to values. After that session with the counselor, they told me that they now understood that their values are very different, miles apart. You see how a counselor came in and helped them. That relationship might have broken up because they didn't understand what the counselor, they didn't see what the counselor saw. So they help you with your values. A counselor helps you with trust issues. I said in earlier videos that some people just don't know how to trust. They are probably coming from a place where they don't know what it means to trust anybody. So he loves you, but he just can't trust you. He can't open up to you. So you think, oh, well, if he's not telling me this, if he's not allowing me break into his privacy, it means he doesn't want me, he doesn't love me. It may not mean so. A counselor will now help you to see, oh, it is because of either past trauma or because of where he's coming from. A counselor just helps you like this, to moderate the relationship. Not that he's interfering in everything you do, but of course you know that he can help you do a few things you couldn't do that is causing constant conflicts. A counselor helps you with in-laws. Many of us think we can relate with our in-laws. Many of us think, oh, no, I love him, I will be able to love his in-laws, which should be, you love me, you love my dog. But many people are not able to relate to their in-laws because they just don't understand the importance of those in-laws to their child, who is your spouse. They feel, oh, I've come into his life, everybody get out. It doesn't work like that. A counselor will begin to help you understand that the in-laws you're trying to push out are as important to him or her as you are. You are standing on different pedestals with your spouse or potential spouse, but none is inferior to the other. You see what a counselor helps you to do? Counselors help you to talk about past relationships. Sometimes we are not comfortable enough to talk about our past relationships. Maybe we are ashamed of them, or we think the person we are with will reject us. But when a counselor comes in, he helps you to talk about them freely, and then the relationship can thrive. A counselor can help you talk about other personal, crucial issues. So when you are with a counselor who is trusted and unbiased, you are relaxed. A counselor can also help you to talk about cross-cultural issues, especially when you are not marrying from your ethnic group. A counselor will help you to see the implication of marrying outside a culture that you are used to. It shouldn't be a disadvantage. It should be one that even though the person did not grow up the way you grew up, or you didn't grow up in the same culture as the person, you are able to see why this person loves this aspect of the culture, and so you embrace it as long as it does not displease God. The role of a counselor is crucial in relationships. I advise us to go for a counselor that is godly and unbiased, and our relationships sometimes will thrive. Instead of breaking up, counselor will just help us see that little thing we needed to see all along, and our relationship will be okay. So these are some of the roles of a counselor in relationships. I'll see you in my next video. Celebrate what is working in your relationship, work on what is not working, and the Lord will help us. Thank you. Bye.